Hello guys, hope you are doing great. My name is Ledian from commercioni.com. In this video, I'll speak about the Warden tool and how to install Magento 2 locally. Warden is a very powerful command line tool which helps to run multiple local environments simultaneously without port conflicts. This tool has too many features which are listed on this page as well. You can take a look at the feature on your own. Let's get started with installing Warden. Before installing Warden, there are some tools that you need to install. There is Docker Desktop for Mac 2.2.0.0 if you are using Mac, or Docker for Linux. There is a Docker Compose version 1.25.0 or later, so it can be installed with brew, apt, tnff, and pipe 3 as needed. The other tool is Mutagen, which needs to be 0.11.4 or later. So Mutagen helps to sync sessions on macOS. Installing Warden, there are two ways: using Homebrew and the alternative installation. I have used Homebrew because it's pretty easy. There are two commands, first one, then the last one. But before installing the Warden, there is some configuration for your Docker. I will open my Docker, and what my configuration looks like this. Going to settings, resources, and I have put 6 CPUs, 10 gigs of memory, and swap 4 gigs. And disk image, up to you, but it is recommended to have at least some gigs of RAM based on this warning here. It's time to install Warden. I'm going to open Terminal. I'm going to copy this line and I paste in the terminal. So I have installed this Warden before, so it is not installing for me, but you have to wait a little bit more. And the next step is to run the Warden. This command will run the Warden. So even for you, this might take some time because it will download the volumes, but I have already run this before, and that's why it's starting too early. Now, if I run docker ps, I'll see all the processes of the Docker, and here these are the default Warden processes. So if you see, this is traffic like Milehog, and this is the DNS, and so on. Now that we install the Docker, it's time to install the Magento. By installing Magento, you can go through search docs and installing it, or you can go through environments, and here you have the option to install Magento 2. But by the way, if we go through environment types, there are different types. For example, you can install environment time local, Magento 2, Magento 1, Laravel, Symfony, Shopware, or different. So based on the type, the environment configuration will be created. Let's see how to install Magento 2 locally. Here is a guide step by step, and I think it's pretty easy to follow. First of all, we have to create the sites and the project name. Let me create the sites on the home directory. Now I can go under sites, and I can make dir the project name. In this tutorial, the project name has been set as example project, but I will put it as Magento 2. Now that we created the folder, we have to change the directory under Magento 2, and I do ls and we don't have any file now. The next step is to initialize the Warden configuration, the .env file. We can do that by running this command. So here is the Warden command, and here is the project name, and here is the environment type that we saw before. I'm copying this, I'm pasting, and I'm changing the project name to Magento 2, as my project folder is to Magento 2. Now I'm doing an ls to see the .env file that has been created. If I do a cut of this file, we can see some configuration here. So this is the environment name, which is type Magento 2, and the environment type, which is Magento 2, web root, which is the current folder, and this is the domain and subdomain, and these are the enabled, like the database is enabled, Elastic is enabled. When the value is 1, it means that they are enabled. These are the versions specified here, and these one are disabled. When the value is 0, they mean they are disabled. Like if you want to configure the Blackfire, you can configure here. Let's see the next step. The next step is to add a SSL certificate to use for our project, and we can do this with the Warden command. Copying this, and here our domain name is magento2.test, so I'm pasting this Warden command and I can write magento2.test. So now I'm generating a certificate for my domain. The next step is to start the project environment, and we can do this with the following command. I'm copying this and I'm pasting. It will take some time for you to download the volumes, but for me, I have already done that before, and it's just creating my volumes here. Now, the next step is to SSH under the container. So we'll prepare a Magento installation. We can SSH by using Warden shell command. Okay, and now we are under shell, but let's see, I'm going out and let's see what the processes do we have now, Docker PS, and we'll see that there are more processes that we've seen before. So there are the Magento 2 environment type processes. So we see like MariaDB, RabbitMQ, Redis, PHP, Nginx, and so on. Again, I'm SSHing to the container with the Warden shell. Now it's to configure the Magento Marketplace credentials, running the following command. And now it's time to initialize the project. So we are adding some value to these variables. So meta package, we are adding this value. At the meta version, we are adding this value. For example, if we do echo meta package, we'll see that value. And if we do echo $sign meta version, we'll see the version here. So now we are going to start installing the Magento using Composer. This is the command. So the variables we have created are added here as parameters. And what this command does is we are installing the Magento temporarily under /tmp folder example project, and later we are copying all the files from this TMP folder under HTML folder. We are doing this way because the composer cannot install the Magento directly here in the root because we already have these two files, and that's why we're doing like this. After that we are removing this TMP folder. So let's install Magento, copying this, and let's install Magento by using the composer. So we are installing Magento Community Edition 2.4.3. As you see here, it's NX because we are getting the latest version, and this might take some time. I'll stop the video now and I'll come back once this has finished.